My name is Ksenia, and my guest here today is Madi Wrenkowski.
Hello.
Happy to have you here on the channel, and you are one of those wrestlers that have been like a new discovery this past year, I guess you could say, even though you did debut in 2019, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But you got more eyes on yourself recently, and you got some AEW appearances. How did your life change after you appeared in AEW? That might be like too loud of a question, but what I really mean is, how did you grow as a performer, or like how does it feel to have more social media presence and more fans just looking at you and following your career?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, obviously, they should have been looking at me from the beginning.
Obviously.
But having the AEW platform, like, it helped immensely. Like, literally, after that first match I had with Layla Hirsch, like, my Twitter followers, like, climbed. And then the second match I had with Leva, it was like everything just, like, climbed. And so I think people just, like, started to realize how great I actually am. And now that I had that platform to do so, like, it was great. It was great. So it helped me grow as a performer, like, immensely, because I feel like I was good, but now that I have, like, so many eyes, as everyone knows, social media can be like a good thing or a bad thing, but it ended up being good so far.
And you have this, like, nickname, I guess you could say, Miss Reality, right?
Yes.
So what should it mean to the viewer? Like, what kind of a persona are you bringing?
So yeah, Miss Reality, it comes from the fact that not only do I love watching reality television, my favorite is Keeping Up with Kardashians, but some of the, like, people that I used to watch in wrestling, such as like Eddie Kingston, I had a seminar with him, and the, like, main thing he told us and that I took away was that, like, literally no matter what, you always have to be real. You have to be yourself. Like, being yourself and being genuine in this business will get you far. And so that's what I do. I am reality. This is me. This is Madi Wrenkowski. I am who I am, you know?
It's just an interesting way to interpret it, because sometimes people, when they think of reality TV, they think fake.
Yeah.
But it's a nice, like, touch to put on it that's like unreal.
Yeah, exactly.
And as we mentioned, you just recently got, like, more exposure, and I think we've all noticed that throughout these past, like, several years, women's wrestling has also been getting more exposure and more new fans, and it's been getting treated better, I guess you could say. So have you ever, like, looked back and, like, compared yourself to, like, your idols that you watched back then, or like who are your favorite, like, women's wrestlers back in the day, and how's your experience different from, like?
Yeah, so my favorite growing up was Lita, and that was back in, like, the Attitude-esque era. So their matches were all very short, and then they had those stipulation matches, the bra and panties ones, and I feel like a lot of times they were forced into weird storylines. So I'm very fortunate to have been able to watch her, because she kind of did show that not all women are like this perfect, like, cookie cutter, like, this is what a woman needs to be like to succeed. She was, like, one of the first people, as well as my trainer Jazz, to kind of break those barriers and be successful in the wrestling business. So I think she kind of opened that door to allow women to be who they are. And I'm so thankful now that it's not like that, because if wrestling was still like that to this day, I probably would not be in it.
And I also feel like recently women have been able to also reclaim some things, because, like, at first when they were just breaking those molds, it's like, yeah, I'm not like other girls, I'm like this and that. But now we see more women bringing, like, girly things into wrestling, fashion and stuff like that. And I've noticed that about you, because the gear that you have, it's very intricate and it's usually, like, very fashion forward. So the question is, wrestling being, like, the huge, bright, colorful industry and product that it is, why is it still not as widespread for people to bring fashion into it, and why is it even, like, kind of sort of frowned upon? Because, like, people discuss gear in the way that they would discuss, like, a costume almost, and not in the way that they would discuss fashion.
Yeah, I think the thing is, like, people, when you get into the business, you talk to other people, and they're like, oh, this is who I go to, this is where I get my gear from, and they just see what other people have, and so they just accept it. I did not want to look like I was about to, like, go play wrestling. Like, I'm going to wear what I would wear. For me, my outfits are designed per se by my brother, and my mom actually sews them together, so I don't use a wrestling gear maker. So I think that's why my stuff looks so different, because I have a specific idea of where I want to be. And like, again, I look up to the Kardashians, so that dog or the houndstooth outfit is actually taken from inspiration of a Kylie Jenner outfit. So I took that and I forced my family to work for me.
It's an interesting thing because like throughout my time talking to like indie wrestlers, especially girls, women, I've encountered this quite a lot, that like their moms make their gear, and it's like so nice and so endearing in a way.
Yeah, because you have like guy gear makers, and of course like they make gear well, but like the first 2 gear pieces that I had did not fit at all. Like I got it and one was like barely covering anything, and I was like, this is not gonna work. And then right before my first match, I pulled my gear pants on, I bent down to tie my shoe, and the back just split open, and I was like, so I ran to Forever 21. I got some like leather tights, and that's what I wore for like my first 2 or so matches. Like it was crazy. And so at that point I was like, okay, something's got to change. These guys don't realize how women's bodies work. They don't. They find a guy and they're like, okay, your inseam's this and this. They don't account for what other curves women have. So I have my mom do it now.
I also saw on social media that you recently got a cameo profile.
Yes.
And cameo in wrestling has been like a weird, polarizing topic for some reason. Like we've seen WWE kind of claim it for their talent, and we've also seen women, especially women's wrestlers, cameo like really bump up the prices. Because men are creepy.
Yes, they are.
And
yes, they
it's
are.
It's hard to be a woman on the internet. So how was your experience with that? How has it been so far? And have you encountered any hardships of being a woman on the internet recently?
Oh, 100%. You always get those requests like, hey, I don't mean to be creepy. Insert really creepy scenario. Will you film this video for me? And I'm like, no. But a lot of them that I have, that I do fulfill, I only fulfill the ones that I'm comfortable with, or like the ones that are in my realm, because I feel like that's what we need to do. We don't need to just say yes to get that $30 or whatever. I feel like we need to take that back and be like, no, that's not okay. That's like every time I decline a cameo, I will put why, and I'll be like, that is not appropriate to ask someone. Yeah, I was like, that is not okay. And like I even had an order on my big cartel come in, and the guy wanted me to write something that was like really strange. And so me being who I am, I was like, hey, so-and-so, you need to check yourself before you get reality checked. And he, all of a sudden, like literally the next day, I got a request for his refund, and I was like, decline, no. You ordered a Maddie's Choice. That means I can do whatever I want. It's like, thanks for your suggestion, but that's not what's gonna be put on. Because my name's gonna be signed to that. So I'm not gonna put my name on something that I'm not okay with. So I feel like I'm trying to take that back, trying to like take control.
And with those like mildly even weird things, like again, as a woman, sometimes something wouldn't be explicit even, but you just know.
Yeah, it's like, do you message the guy wrestlers and like, hey, can you show me your toes and then moan my name? Like, no, that's
disgusting.
Some
people message them.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do, actually.
I'm sure that
but they probably don't get it as much.
Yeah, probably not. So social media has been like a great tool for you to promote yourself. And obviously we're right now at an all-women's show. Mission for Wrestling at Taco Festival in Jacksonville. And is women wrestling something that's like inherently very important for you? And do you typically go for shows that you know are promoting women's wrestling, are like good to women, I guess, like treat women good? Is it something that you like actively pay attention to?
Yeah, so I like to keep my eyes out for women's wrestling, because obviously there are some promotions who are still like, oh, we're gonna have one women's show and it's gonna be 4 minutes. So I try not to go for those promotions who don't seem to care. Like one major thing that I've realized is having a locker room. Like if you're gonna have women on the show, they need a place to dress. Like it's not right for you to make them dress in front of other guys, and it's not fair for the guys to make them dress in front of girls, even though they may be okay with that. So I definitely keep my eyes out for the different promotions and which ones I choose to work for. I would definitely like to go out and do more promotions over this country now that travel is open.
Finally.
So I'm excited to actually get out of Texas and get out of Florida, but I'm really excited that Mission Pro is going on the road here, and I think they've announced a couple other shows for North Carolina, Oklahoma, different ones like that. So it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting to travel and see everything and see how people are perceiving women's wrestling, because I think Mission Pro kind of brings many different women from different backgrounds, and so you're not going to see the same woman twice, and you're not going to see the same style of wrestling, I think.
Yeah, and now that you said that travel is open, we're going to get a whole bunch of amazing wrestling in the nearest future. So give the viewers something to be excited about. Maybe like a teaser, where we're going to see you next, what's something exciting that's coming up for you? I definitely will be around Texas, of course, and I may or may not be in the background or somewhere in Garland this next upcoming week, so it'll be exciting. That's great. And if you have to plug anything, your merch, your social media, you can do this right now.
Yeah, of course. You can find me on Instagram, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all under Madi_Wrenkowski. I also have a cameo, like you mentioned. My merchandise is on Big Cartel, and soon I will be getting a pro wrestling tees shop. So I don't actually have to do all this stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here and doing the interview. And I'll put all the links for Madi's social media in the video description down below. And in the meanwhile, thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a like if you had a good time. Subscribe, tap the notification bell to never miss an upload. And until next time, goodbye.